Hey guys, things this weekend are happening for a reason, even if we don't perceive it that way in the moment. This weekend, we are in a window of some of the most divinely aligned stuff playing out all year. We have the exact activation of the North Node and the Sun coming into a trine in fire signs. Follow your creative impulses this weekend and also follow your gut impulses this weekend. Trust your gut. In the energy on Friday, we have a pretty intense and powerful Moon-Pluto conjunction. This can really bring up some psychic sensitivities, but it's also a very powerful emotional energy. And with the combination of the Moon and Pluto and the Sun and the North Node, we could really receive some powerful, intuitive hunches that guide us in a direction that is meant to be somehow. So powerful, spiritually oriented weekend. We also have a square playing out though between Neptune and the Sun in the sky. This notoriously kind of might have us in a funk or a fog, low physical energy, maybe feeling like our mind's a little bit fuzzy, not very clear-headed, especially with Mercury retrograde as well. And we have Mars trining Chiron in the energy this weekend. Active healing playing out, but with the Neptune influence and the Chiron influence, something could be pressing on our wounds a little bit, maybe triggering some states of victimhood for the purpose of Moon and Pluto, purge, purification, regeneration, healing, release. Lots of energy to talk about this weekend, you guys. And again, of this more divinely oriented nature, divine intervention, spiritual assistance, all of that and more. A great weekend for prayer and meditation. Let's get into our report of the day, you guys. Let's look at this energy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. What do we have going on in all the details and what might things look like as we move through our energy this weekend? Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, December 15th, 2023. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the weekend, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. In this video, we're talking about the astrology for Friday, December 15th through Sunday the 17th. What do we have going on out there, and how might that be trickling down to our own personal and collective experiences? So, yes, that's what we're going to talk about. Let's start talking about it. We do, as I said, powerful combination of energy this weekend to maybe receive some type of deeper psychic knowing or intuitive impression about what we should do next, or a direction maybe that we want to head in, or something that we want to begin to move towards or cultivate. We're in the season right now of Sun trine North Node. The North Node, of course, being the destiny point, also known as the head of the dragon, what we're sort of being compulsively pulled towards, and maybe a way that's a bit out of our control. But it's, it's where we're evolving to next collectively, is it's like a human soul collective, okay? When we're talking about the general North Node in terms of the daily astrology, which is what we're talking about. And so, North Node right now in the sign of Aries, this is all pulling us all forward towards some type of personal mission, re-identifying with the self somehow, some type of hero's journey, okay, that we need to go on. Talking about the sign of Aries, the warrior, the initiator, the pioneer, the one who sets forth, and it's ruled by Mars, which is also about the self. So the nodes take about 1.5 years to transit any signal polarity. They're always in opposition to each other. The North Node is the future and the next phase of growth and evolution, and the destiny point, and the South Node, the polar opposing point to that, is karma, and is the past, and is what we're very comfortable with, and what we know very well, and where we're coming from, but also what we need to release, the tail of the dragon, what needs to be released and dropped off, so that we can go in this new direction and gain these new soul evolutionary lessons represented by the North Node. So we're dealing right now with a nodal axis, Aries Libra, North Node Aries, South Node Libra. At its most basic, fundamental level, this is going to be a need to, shed some type of group image or group context, or, old perception of beauty, value, worth, love, old relationship, in order to redefine and like expand into the self somehow. That's just the way that this polarity we're talking about, the head and the tail of the dragon, the north and the south nodes, are playing out, what we're releasing and where we're being pulled towards. And as the north node represents the destiny point and represents, you know, fate, essentially, like the next phase of evolutionary growth for us as a human collective, when the sun comes into a trine with the north node, which is of course going to happen twice a year, depending on where the nodes are placed. Right now we have the north node in Aries, like I said, which is a fire sign. So during our fire seasons, these are going to be the times of year where we are in the windows where things are falling into place, and we're having this cosmic facilitation in terms of our movement forward towards this new phase of growth, you know, the fate, the destiny, the north node stuff, what it represents. So here we are in Sagittarius season, our lovely fire sign, and we have the sun this weekend coming into the exact trine with the north node. That's actually happening on Friday. And so trine aspects, trines facilitate things. When we have trines operating, things are just sort of like falling into place. So as I just said, you know, this is indicating where we're at in the cosmic blueprint this weekend, some type of cosmic or universal God facilitating our forward movement somehow along some type of destined path of personal growth, with the north node being in the sign of Aries and in the sign of Sagittarius. This could also have to do with like some type of perspective that we're gaining, some wisdom, some truth that we're coming to understand. And we also have Mercury retrograde right now, we have to remember as well. So we could really be reconsidering a lot of things right now that are, you know, playing into this. And another aspect of this, like I mentioned in my intro, and that we're going to be talking about this weekend, because this is happening exact for us this weekend as well, is Mars, who is ruling the position of the north node right now, the sign of Aries, where the north node is, coming into an exact trine to Chiron, the wounded healer, teacher, master archetype, also in the sign of Aries, ruled by Mars. So, you know, there is an active and cosmically facilitated healing that is occurring throughout the course of energy this weekend, the way that things are just coming together, that is playing into whatever this divinely aligned and unfolding facilitation of cosmic energy is also bringing us. You see what I'm saying? So we happen to be, and like I said, this is going to happen twice a year, right, at any point in time, but right now it's happening in fire signs. So we had this going on in Leo season, and we're also having it go on in Sag season, and this weekend is when we are just thick in this energy. So a trine assisting us to move forward in some type of a way. And then also, while this is going on Friday, we have the moon in Capricorn, late degrees of Capricorn, coming into an exact conjunction with Pluto. So that's why I'm saying, you guys, like, trust your gut, like literally some type of like intuitive hunch or psychic knowing, psychic impression, just something that you're sensing very deeply could unknowingly, subconsciously, unconsciously, you know, this plutonic energy lead you to something life-changing, or, you know, lead you to an opportunity that is like divinely aligned, or a piece of, in the sign of Sagittarius with the sun, knowledge or, you know, information or truth somehow being revealed. So very like potent and powerful, the way that these two dynamics with both the luminaries, right, the moon and Pluto, like seeing into the depths, or like feeling into the depths of things, the depths of our soul, like connecting very deeply. And then also the sun coming into the trine with the north node, facilitating our progress and our growth moving forward somehow along a path, also having to do with some type of healing that is coming through as well. So you know, all of that, right? The ability to feel into the depths of things beyond this world. Pluto and the moon can also be a destructive influence. It can be very compulsive, very obsessive. So we're going to want to watch that, because it just brings up these powerful emotional urges, but it's also very regenerative. It's also very healing, which goes well with the Mars Chiron trine that we have playing out as well. I will say though, you know, just because this energy is of a more divinely oriented, divinely aligned nature, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily like going to feel like the best thing ever as we're going through it. This honestly could be a little bit more of like a darker energy or just a more difficult emotional energy. It could definitely be triggering like victim complexes in people, and people to sort of like re-experience victim states. Old like childhood traumas could be coming up. This is sort of like salt in the wound type of energy also, but it's, you know, to wake us up to maybe like what is still kind of like festering under the surface that maybe we don't have a conscious awareness of right now, or like what is really bothering us that we're not acknowledging or something like that, that is acting as a blockage to our ability to move forward some way. Because think about it, if this energy is functioning to move us forward in, you know, a direction that is going to promote our greatest, you know, soul growth, you know, a lot of this energy is about like overcoming challenges and weaknesses and things that have held us back in the past, or that we've been like too afraid to face. It's about North Node in the sign of Aries, right? Finding our courage, finding our strength, finding our assertiveness, like finding our personal power to like conquer previous challenges or previous limitations, or the things that have held us back or made us feel like we weren't enough, or like some state of weakness in the past, some state of victimhood, to move forward in this new, you know, destined direction, to find our purpose, to activate destiny. That's ultimately what this North Node Aries transit is trying to like awaken within us. And so in order, you know, to maybe like set us on that path, or awaken us to something, or get us to fix an issue that's acting as a blockage or holding us back from where universe wants us to go right now, you know, maybe we need to walk through that fire, right? Maybe we need to, you know, see things for what they are. We really need to like acknowledge some things that we'd rather not, or that are like bothering us, or, you know, see what the root of something is that maybe has been acting to an impediment to our growth, or keeping us attached to some state of victimhood that has been keeping us detached from our potential to align with our higher self, and, you know, the state of self-mastery that this transit of the North Node is also indicating, with, you know, as we know, Chiron also being in the sign of Aries. We're gonna have a North Node Aries conjunction coming up here before long, or a North Node, not North Node Aries, North Node Chiron conjunction happening in Aries, that's going to be happening before long. And, you know, this is really going to activate this collective hero's journey, the transmutation of our lower self into a greater alignment with our higher self, overcoming these states of victimhood and coming into these states of mastery, you know, wisdom through experience, and, you know, turning lead into gold, discovering the true like gold of the soul as we go through this process, what's really valuable and what's really powerful, pain into power, you know, all of those very Chiron oriented themes. This is a process and a period of personal alchemy that is playing out right now as well. And so, you know, of course, it is likely to maybe bring up some of the things that we got to deal with, some of the things that we got to face, that we got to forgive, and that we got to transmute or transcend in order to get to that place. Now, and with the Pluto moon, you know, this could also be bringing us down into the depths of some, like, at the very end of Capricorn, maybe some old emotions with Mercury retrograde as well, maybe like going back over the past, reevaluating things. And another thing that we have going on is the Sun squaring Neptune, which we're also going to be talking about in a minute, and that can also really trigger like some victim complexes and stuff like that as well. So we don't want to allow ourselves to attach to any states of victimhood that we could find ourselves sort of dealing with or struggling with throughout the course of the weekend. Rather, we want to use them as an opportunity to see, you know, where we've been, where we are, and what we need to release ourselves from in order to become who we're being called to become right now. You know, these are the obstacles, the tests, the challenges that we need to overcome as we move through this energy at this point in time over the next year or so and through 2024. Okay. But we need to keep moving forward, right? Even if we are not necessarily sure what the outcome is going to be, you know, even if it's difficult, even if it feels real heavy, I'm telling you guys, like, whatever we are being called towards on these deeper levels, like, it's going to be worth it. There's some greater degree of value, perhaps than we're maybe even aware of. Again, like it may feel like a heavy burden to be doing what needs to be done right now or going in, you know, this certain direction, but it's purposeful, it's valuable, and it will become more than, you know, we perhaps ever anticipated or thought it could be. We actually have the North Node for the Sun's trine to the North Node at 23 degrees of Aries. And the Sabian symbol associated with that degree while the Sun trines the North Node is a woman in pastel colors carrying a heavy and valuable but veiled load. So we may not, you know, even know necessarily like where this is leading or, you know, what we're going to come to discover, like our efforts that we've been putting in, like turn into. But there is something of value in, you know, what we're bringing forth right now. And we just need to continue to move forward, even if like I said, even if it feels heavy with the North Node at that degree. We also, the Sun, shortly after trining the North Node, moves to 24 degrees of Taurus. That Sabian symbol is a bluebird standing at the door of a house. And this is another symbol that is, I feel like, is coming through in like the context of all of this energy. And it's bringing, you know, like a positive omen. The final destination, you know, where this is leading, again, at the end of the day, like it's bringing us somewhere better. You know, blessed are the days to come, and we can look forward to the future joyfully, even if, you know, the path getting there might be cumbersome. We might, you know, again, be like carrying something that we feel like is very heavy. It's leading us to an outcome that will like serve our soul on some level, soul fulfillment, soul happiness. So again, like the direction that we're moving, this phase of self-growth that we're going through right now is to bring us into a greater alignment with our higher self, and actually therefore moving forward, you know, be able to receive things that will fulfill us on like a much deeper soul level as well. Because when we are living in alignment with our soul truth, everything that we draw to us is going to be an expression or a reflection of that. So of course it's going to fulfill us on a much deeper level. You see like how that works. When we are detached from ourselves, nothing in our experience that we create is going to fill us up. There will always be a void if we are creating the life around us detached from, you know, the truth of our heart, our soul, our purpose. When we get in alignment with our purpose and we create a world around ourselves that is a reflection of, you know, our higher selves, our higher calling, our higher purpose, everything in that reality, of course, right, is going to be fulfilling instead of empty, because it's what's meant for us. When we are receiving what's meant for us, that's obviously going to fill us up a lot more than we are receiving what's meant for somebody else or a false version of ourselves that we created. That's, you know, when we feel perpetually empty, no matter how much we have, right? So this is the energy, you know, that we're dealing with, that we're navigating, some of the symbolism that is coming along with that. You know, now let's talk a little bit more about this Sun square Neptune energy. It is sort of more like ethereal, non-corporeal vibes that we have going on this weekend. You really may feel just like sleeping, taking naps, like just not really doing a whole lot. And I don't recommend, you know, give yourself the break if you need it. This energy will pass. You know, it's not a very long lasting transit, but it definitely distorts like the our perception of reality, can definitely make us, you know, brain fog, like just feeling like fuzzy and stuff like that, a bit daydreamy, discouraged, right? Also, it can bring up like a very like big space, okay, between maybe like our idealistic version of things, like how we would like things to be, and like how they actually are. And like living in the in-between space in this Neptunian energy can make us feel, you know, like discouraged about stuff. Maybe like life is getting the best of us and like, you know, we'll never be good enough. Again, it can, Neptune energy can trigger these like victim complexes and also like martyr energy and stuff like that as well. And just kind of like zoned out, not paying attention, disoriented, you know, tired. Like I said, it can bring a strong desire to escape reality. I will say, with the Pluto moon conjunction this weekend and the Sun square Sun square Neptune. Be careful with drugs and alcohol, especially, you know, if you know people who tend to like have like depression issues or like self-medicate when it comes to like drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. That's just not going to help, and they could pose more of a risk than a benefit, okay? But I do, you know, this does encourage spiritual practices. Beautiful way to use this energy: prayer, meditation, connecting to a higher power in whichever way you do, you know, honing in on your intuition, maybe just, you know, some more like mystical, like there's a more mystical leaning to things, okay, when we've got the strong Neptunian energy going on. And then of course also with the Chiron influence as well, and all the Sagittarius energy, you know, learning something like spiritual truths could be very therapeutic and very healing in this energy, or, you know, philosophies and stuff like that, like expanding our mind, true wisdom. Also, there's a huge theme of like wisdom through experience when we've got a lot of Sagittarius energy going on with the Chiron influence. Remember, Sagittarius, the constellation Sagittarius in the sky is Chiron, is based on the wounded healer teacher, the centaur Chiron. So these two themes can be really connected in some ways, like the archetypal themes associated with Sagittarius and the wisdom and the truth and the, you know, expanded perspective and perception, and the Chiron influence of, you know, the wisdom gained through the experience and the inner transmutation and overcoming states of victimhood, expanding into higher states of self-mastery. There's definitely some alignments going on with these two. So they're working in tandem this weekend as well. You know, Sun and Sag, trining North Node in Aries, Mars and Sag, trining Chiron in Aries. Very powerful, strong, healing influence. Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, and the Moon and Pluto in the end of Capricorn. Healing old wounds from the past that have been holding us back, blocking our progress, or keeping us detached from our sense of self in some type of a way that's been like blocking our purpose. But not anymore, you guys. Not moving forward through this next year. And that's basically, you know, what I have to say about the energy as it's coming together for us. It is this intense spiritual energy, I feel like, that is just sort of like permeating the energetic field and is kind of at our disposal to work with and to assist us as we move through this. You know, pay attention to your feelings, pay attention to signs and synchronicities. Don't worry, things are not as they seem. You know, if you're feeling a little bit weak in this energy, because, you know, that's what the Chiron energy can do, that's what the Neptune energy can do. Don't attach to that. Realize that it's going to pass. Try to gain whatever wisdom or learning about yourself that you can through whatever is coming up for you, and just realize that everything's going to be okay. Actually better than okay. If you guys watched my new moon video, I was talking about how, you know, things are going to begin accelerating. We've got this energy of, you know, all this Jupiter energy that is blowing things up, that is accelerating things, that is expanding things, that is moving things forward. And we've got, you know, we're in the season of these North Node trines. Mars is going to trine the North Node next. And so, you know, the firepower is behind it. Follow your creative impulses and urges as well. Those could be, again, like leading to something more or bigger or more significant than you might initially think at this point in time as this energy comes together. So that's what I'm going to say, you guys. It may not be the best feeling weekend that we've ever had, but it's a powerful weekend. It's a purposeful weekend. And the things that are coming up in this energy are, you know, as I began this report, like things this weekend are happening for a reason, removing blockages to growth, helping us heal on deeper levels, helping us to gain greater awarenesses of maybe what has been holding us back, what we need to overcome within ourselves so that we can move forward in this new direction towards this accelerated process of personal growth that is being indicated collectively for us right now. So that's what I'm going to say about the energy this weekend, you guys. Let's get a synchronicity card now. Asking God, Spirit, Universe, what is just, you know, one additional piece of information that we can keep in mind, benefit us, some advice over this weekend with the Neptune. And it's so ironic. Of course, it says like exactly what I was just saying. Like, we just need to keep going, keep moving, even if we feel discouraged, even if things, you know, aren't feeling the best right now. The card says persist. Because of his persistence, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and it will be opened to you. Luke 11:8-9. Nothing is too large or too small, and your persistence in believing in God's ability to provide whatever it is you seek will bring you to your goal. Persistence, waiting, patience, and never failing faith will lead you to your goal. The woman carrying the heavy and valuable but veiled load, and all the North Node energy right now as well, and also the Chiron, Mars trine. Like, we just need to keep going. We are heading in the right direction, whether we know it or not, whether we are asking to be led that way or not, whether we like it or not. That's another thing. Again, like, we may not like the way it feels, but at the end of the day, right, at the end of the journey, when we look back, we will understand why, you know, these circumstances had to play out such as they did in order so that we could gain whatever we needed to for, you know, whatever soul lesson or soul growth was required, you know, in the context of whatever that experience may have been. So we're persisting, you guys. We're not getting down in this energy. That's what I gotta say. And I will be back on Monday to talk about more energy that we have coming at us, moving through this month of December. When we get back on Monday, let's see, that will be the 18th. And we are going to have our second exact Mercury Jupiter trine is coming in, and they're with both of them retrograde coming in on the 18th. And we've got a full moon week and a holiday week coming up. So we're going to have a lot to talk about, you guys, and I will be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And until next time, you guys, bye.